Here's a preseason reality check that every NFL coach dreads. Watching your promising young talent get thrown out of a game for losing his cool when you're trying to evaluate his progress. The Carolina Panthers found themselves in exactly this frustrating situation Friday night during their matchup against the Cleveland Browns. Second-year wide receiver Xavier Legette, who was supposed to get valuable playing time to prove his worth, instead took an early shower after getting ejected for throwing punches with Browns cornerback Rayshawn Mitchell. But here's where it gets controversial. Was Legette really the aggressor, or was he simply defending himself in a league that demands toughness? Carolina's coaching staff had mapped out specific plans for Legette's involvement in the contest, intending to manage his snaps strategically rather than having the decision made for them by game officials.
Those carefully laid plans went up in smoke during just the team's second offensive possession, when tempers flared between the receiver and defensive back. The altercation started innocuously enough. Legette was engaged in what appeared to be routine blocking against Mitchell downfield. However, the situation escalated rapidly when both players began throwing punches, forcing the referees to step in and send both athletes to the locker room. Panthers head coach Dave Canales, who had a front-row seat to the entire incident, didn't mince words when discussing his players' actions after the game concluded. The coach provided a detailed breakdown of how the situation unfolded, explaining that he expects his receivers to maintain contact through the whistle, a fundamental aspect of finishing plays in professional football. "I witnessed the whole thing unfold right in front of me," Canales explained to reporters, drawing from the team's official website coverage.
"Our philosophy is simple. We teach our receivers to keep their hands engaged and finish every single play. Xavier was doing exactly what we coach, maintaining contact with his opponent even after the whistle sounded. The problem started when the defender began chopping down at his arms aggressively, and Xavier responded by grabbing onto the player's jersey. And this is the part most people miss. The coach acknowledged that both players share responsibility for escalating what should have remained a routine post-play interaction. Once they started trading punches, both guys sealed their fate," Canales continued. "The officials handled it correctly by ejecting both players. We simply cannot allow this type of behavior to become part of our identity. Football is inherently a physical, aggressive sport where emotions run high and tempers can boil over quickly. But the moment anyone throws a punch, our team immediately finds itself at a significant disadvantage."
The coach made it crystal clear that he expects substantial improvement in self-control from his young receiver moving forward, particularly as the team prepares for games that actually count toward their win-loss record. Here's where the situation becomes a fascinating case study in player development and coaching philosophy. While the ejection was undoubtedly embarrassing and disruptive to the team's evaluation process, it also presents Canales with a valuable teaching opportunity. The timing couldn't have been better from an educational standpoint. Better to learn this lesson during a meaningless exhibition than during a crucial regular season matchup where such penalties could cost the team a victory. The consequences of Legette's actions would have been far more severe and potentially season-altering if this incident had occurred once the games begin counting in September.
In that context, this preseason ejection might actually serve as an invaluable wake-up call for the young receiver. But here's the question that's stirring debate among fans and analysts. Should players be expected to turn the other cheek when opponents get physical? Or is there a point where standing up for yourself becomes necessary? Some argue that Legette was simply showing the kind of competitive fire that separates successful NFL players from those who don't make it. Others contend that true professionals find ways to channel that aggression without crossing the line into ejection-worthy behavior. What's your take on this situation? Do you think Legette was justified in defending himself, or should he have found a way to de-escalate? And more importantly, do incidents like this actually help young players learn crucial lessons about emotional control, or do they just create unnecessary drama that could have been avoided entirely? The comment section awaits your thoughts on where the line should be drawn between competitive intensity and self-destructive behavior.